I don't want nobody telling me why it took so long to post a video. I know it's been a long time. Okay? It's been 2 weeks since my last video. But hey, I'm a very busy man. Lies. Okay? Alright. But like I said, I would be back. And I'm back. And I'm here to talk about a movie. Which movie, you ask? Well, you're about to witness me! Did you get the hint? You got it, did you? They clicked the thumbnail, Sherlock. Obviously, they know. It's Furiosa, a Mad Max story. It was a story or saga? Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. The 5th movie in the Mad Max franchise. For all the ones that don't know, the first one came out in 1979, which was Mad Max. And then 1989, the one was Mad Max Road Warrior. And then 1985, which was Mad Max Beyond Thunderdome. All those were starring Mel Gibson. But in 2015, a long way ahead, was Mad Max Fury Road, the infamous Mad Max Fury Road, which starred Tom Hardy in the lead role, and in supporting role, Charlize Theron as Imperator Furiosa. Now this movie, Furiosa Mad Max Saga, is about this backstory of her character Furiosa. And now let me tell you, Mad Max Fury Road had a very, very certain feel to it. It's a much more, oh my God! That movie felt like, seriously, that movie felt like an adrenaline ride. Sorry. I had no spit in my mouth. That movie felt like an adrenaline ride. Seriously. Crazy. I remember watching that for the first time. Whew. What a feeling. I do want to do a separate review for that movie in the future, which I will. But for now, let's get back to Furiosa's story. Now, after the success of Mad Max Fury Road, I believe it made upwards of 300 million, less than $400 million worldwide, which was enough to make them want to make a spin-off about Furiosa's story. Now, for all the ones that don't know, Charlize Theron is not in this one, but Anya Taylor-Joy is playing the younger version of herself in this movie, which is a very good choice. But also, I must say, an even better choice was the younger version of Anya Taylor-Joy in this movie, which was the younger version of Charlize Theron, played by Alila Brown. I mean, wow, the best choice, the best casting. Because the transition from her to Anya Taylor-Joy was seamless. Like for a second, for like two to 3 seconds, I'm like, wait. Did she change? Oh, she changed. That was a good choice. I do want to give a caveat for all the ones that are going into this movie wanting to get the same feeling that they did for Mad Max Fury Road. I have to say, and also, my God, forgot to say spoilers. I'll put spoilers in the beginning. I'll try and put a banner. I'm learning, so I hope I can put a banner in the beginning that this is spoilers, right? But if anybody's trying to get the same feeling that they did for Mad Max Fury Road, I don't believe you're going to get it from this. I definitely didn't get it from this. However, I do think that this is still a very well-made movie. But it definitely does not have the same feeling as Mad Max Fury Road, which is good and bad because there's a certain pace that Mad Max Fury Road has that this one doesn't. They try to keep the pace going in certain scenes. There are some scenes that are very reminiscent of Fury Road, but that movie had a continuous pace from the beginning all the way until the end. You had like these little moments to breathe, almost like halftime, get your breath, we're getting back to the action kind of thing. This one has, ebbs and flows, lulls. But when it hits, it hits. I have to say that. When it hits, it hits. And also, when it comes to the acting, everybody's doing a very good job in this movie. Now, Charlize Theron is not in this movie. She has a tiny, itty bitty part at the end when they're trying to connect both stories. But for the most part, it's just Anya Taylor-Joy in this movie. Now, Anya Taylor-Joy is really good. She's a really good actress. I think she has a long way to go, and she's definitely going to become one of the best of her generation for sure. But this is definitely not her best role. When I say that, it's not because she's bad in this role. It's just that it's not her There Will Be Blood. Do you know what I mean? Like Daniel Day-Lewis is an amazing actor, but There Will Be Blood is his best one. Brad Pitt, Tyler Durden, Heath Ledger, Joker. This is not that for her, but she definitely is very, very good in the movie. However, I will say that Chris Hemsworth is very, very good in this movie. To me, this is his best. When I'm looking back at his filmography, I would definitely say this one is his top. I would even say this is his There Will Be Blood so far. So far. Because looking back at everything he's done, you could say that, I would pick maybe his best as Thor, him as Thor in Infinity War, or him as Thor in Ragnarok as his best. When he's playing, when he's in the Extraction movies, it's an action movie and he looks the part. And the one good thing about his character in this movie is his ability not to give up. Do you know how many times in movies where bad guy sees the good guy get away and all they do is look? It's like, oh, he's too far away now. I'll catch him in the next scene. Let's go. No, not in this movie. Because in this movie, when he sees them get away, he's like, nah, I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you. And he takes his big, what do they call it? What do they call those big trucks? Monster truck, yeah. He takes his big monster truck and just starts ramming the gate. That thing needed at least 3 or 4 more hits. The thing came down fairly easily. And when he wants to do those really sickening bad things, they even play like an eerie kind of sound when he's torturing Furiosa when she gets her, her hand eventually just like comes off. It's a really gnarly scene. Now, I want to talk about the things that I didn't like in this movie. Now, I know in the previous film, there was CGI. There was definitely CGI in the film, but it was not noticeable. In this movie, every 2 minutes, whenever something big would happen, you could notice the CGI. It was very noticeable. And that kind of put me off just more than a little bit. And I did understand why. They probably didn't have the time to do it for real, and that's why they had to use CGI. Being $50-60 million movie, you couldn't have gotten something better than that. And one thing that's really, really amazing in this movie is the sound of all the cars and the bikes. All of them went every time. And I watched this twice in IMAX, so the sound was fantastic. I could feel the vibrations in my sphincter. It was really good. And the guy that played Praetorian Jack, the guy with the scar on his upper lip, he was also very good. One of the standouts in the film. So I haven't worked on my rating system yet. I don't want to give a basic 1 through 10 or 1 through 5. For now, I'll just say, I will give either go see it in the cinema or don't go see it in the cinema until I work out a really good rating system, which I really want to make a nice one. I don't want to just say 10 out of 10, 1 out of 10. Because it's a really weird way of rating movies, isn't it? You gotta have a different way of rating films. So I'm gonna find how I can rate the movies. But for now, I definitely would recommend go seeing it in the theater. It's flopping. It doesn't deserve to flop. It's definitely not that bad. For sure. It's not even bad. It's good. I just realized while I was doing my edit, I didn't even talk about the Warwick scene. That's like the price of admission scene. Man, I need to get better at structuring these things. Journey, baby. But yeah, there's the scene where we get introduced to Anya Taylor-Joy's character, like the proper introduction, is a scene where Tom Burke, who's playing Praetorian Jack, they build this Warwick scene that goes on Fury Road. I believe that was Fury Road they were talking about. And that is the best scene in the movie. That is the scene people are going to be talking about, which is very reminiscent and paying homage to Mad Max Road Warrior and Mad Max Fury Road. But I feel like it was a bit more for Mad Max Road Warrior. And that was a beautiful scene. When I watched it the second time, I was so excited for it to come again. Even though I knew it was there coming, I got excited. And I have to say that scene was fantastic. It kept on going and going and going. It wasn't shot like one shot, but it felt almost like one shot, even though there were cuts in it. It did feel like one shot, which was very good. So yes, I forgot to talk about that scene. That scene was the shiznit. And also when I was looking back, I feel like I'm not being fair to Anya Taylor-Joy. I want to say when I said that this is not her best, I kind of didn't give any emphasis as to what she did good in this movie. She did a lot of things amazing in this movie. It's just the first thought that came to my mind is when I saw her playing a younger version of Furiosa, I thought like this was going to be that for her. But I still think The Queen's Gambit is her best role. But she is solid in this movie. Proper solid. She definitely has that fierceness that Furiosa needs. The fury that Furiosa needs. God, I need to get better at this. But if I was to pick her best, like I said before, her There Will Be Blood, it would be The Queen's Gambit. When it comes to her movie best role, let's look at her filmography. She was good in The Northman. She was amazing in The Menu. Dude, like I said, she's one of the best of her generation and she's going to go a long way, for sure. For sure. There's this plot hole that feels like a plot hole to me. But after watching Fury Road, the one with Tom Hardy and Charlize Theron, you kind of get the feel that her backstory lies with Immortan Joe, right? Like he's the one that made her who he is. But after you watch this movie, you find out that it's not. It's Dementis, Chris Hemsworth's character, that actually did the bulk of making her who she is and putting her through what she did. And later on in the film, when he's making the deal with Dementis, that's when he takes a young Furiosa with him to the Citadel, or tells her to stay in the Citadel. Well, doesn't tell her. He keeps her as a part of the deal with Citadel. And then also, that's when she runs away. And then after she runs away, right, nobody makes a big deal out of it. She was part of the deal. Now she's gone. She stays in the Citadel, acts like she's a boy, does various things all over the Citadel, ends up being a part of the war rig scene. It's Praetorian Jack who ends up kind of training her, which we don't even see, which is a shame. That's another bad part of the movie. You get the idea she was being trained by him. And that's kind of her love interest, which was good. They did make Praetorian Jack, Tom Burke's character, her love interest, but there wasn't any kissing scene or love scene over there. You could just tell that they obviously love each other. And when the torture scene happens, which is a very quick torture scene, but very effective torture scene happens, because you just see him like with the bike going round and round and round. And obviously he was, I guess, dragged to death. Ooh. Just thinking about it is horrible. Going back to the plot hole, she leaves. Nobody makes a big deal out of it, or they don't even show anybody making a big deal out of it, which was really weird. So in closing, overall, I really like this movie. I will watch it again. I can't wait to watch it again. At home, I might revisit this review in the future because I feel like I might need to. So we'll see how that goes. But overall, I would definitely recommend seeing it in the cinema. Go see it in IMAX, the best IMAX that you have, or the biggest theater. The sound is amazing. The music is not as good as Fury Road, but still good. The scenes with the cars, every car, every bike sounds amazing. Cinematography is good. CGI was a bit too noticeable. For me to... Why? Anyways, but that's what's happening these days. I guess CGI is cheaper and cost effective and not as time consuming as doing it for real. That's why you gotta appreciate when Christopher Nolan makes a movie. I'm sure Oppenheimer, I can't remember what they said, whether there was no CGI or there was like a little bit of CGI. Mostly everything was done for real. You gotta appreciate that. But for now, I just want to thank everybody for tuning in again. Sorry that it took so long. Hope to God that it won't take 2 weeks. I'll do my best to get videos out sooner and quicker, maybe 2-3 videos a week, maybe not as long. I think this one's passing already 10 minutes. I'll try and get some videos out. Bad Boys Ride or Die is coming up. Got to give that a watch and see how that turns out. But very excited for that one, but we'll see. But until then, peace, love, and I'll see you when I see you.